Hey folks, welcome back to my channel. Here's this week's weekly tech roundup. This is an ongoing series where I pick out the biggest tech news of the week, keeping you in the loop and ahead of the rest. On the agenda for this week, we've got Stable Diffusion, a whole lot of satellite connectivity announcement, and a new YC founder, so stay tuned. Before we get into it, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the bell icon so you don't miss out on any life and tech tips. First up, Stable Diffusion. It's been making the rounds at the moment as it's essentially DALL-E, but open source. In case you don't know what DALL-E is or anything like that, these are AI algorithms that take a text input, say for example, Tom Cruise in a Grand Theft Auto cover, and then do a whole lot of AI magic and produce an output image. This is known as a text-to-image model, and they're getting surprisingly good now. In fact, apparently someone already won an art contest using Stable Diffusion. This raised quite a lot of discussion about how creative jobs could be in jeopardy, as AI tools seem to already be doing a good job of making art to a very high level. I still think it's way too early to tell if you can completely remove the human touch. But having access to this tool means a lot of people can now experiment and get access to this amazing art for a lot cheaper than what it usually would have been, which does seem to be a bit of a win. There have been a lot of ethical and potentially legal issues being discussed as well, but I'll cover that in a future video. With it being open source, you can legit run it from any computer. I recently just got it working on mine, so if you're interested to see a tutorial on that, let me know in the comment section below. However, there's also a web-hosted version of it, and the folks at r/Stable Diffusion have been posting tons of examples, so I'll leave a whole lot of links in the description below as well. Next up, we have a whole lot of announcements and rumors about satellite connectivity for phones. We had T-Mobile and SpaceX announcing a partnership, rumors that the upcoming Apple event will feature satellite, and talks about Qualcomm and Android supporting it too. In case the name didn't give it away already, satellite connectivity relies on, satellite. Unlike cellular networks, which rely on cell towers, satellite connectivity can basically work about anywhere. In the T-Mobile and SpaceX announcement, their overarching goal was that if you had a clear view of the sky, you would be connected. I think probably the biggest win here is just massive connectivity in rural areas, but it could also be super useful in cases like when you're in a hike in the mountains or in the middle of the sea. Satellite connectivity should also work if there's a massive power outage because, the satellites are zooming in space, not on the ground. It's probably also not a coincidence that these all come announced at the same time, as competitors always try and one-up each other. But still, a fantastic new feature for us consumers. Finally, we have Y Combinator getting a new CEO, Gary Tan. Before I dive into it, you might be thinking, why should I care about a CEO change? Well, Y Combinator is actually a massive startup accelerator responsible for tons of companies you probably already know about, like Airbnb, Stripe, Twitch, Reddit, and the list goes on. But more importantly, it's also super important to stay on track of organization changes at these big companies, as it allows you to be more informed of emerging opportunities and shakeups across the industry. The news is still pretty fresh, so we're not entirely sure about what Tan's agenda or MO for the company moving forward would be. I think he currently works as part of however, he was previously part of Y Combinator, so everyone's been talking about him doing a full circle. So it makes sense to bring in someone who's already got pretty intimate knowledge of the company, and it seems he's been doing a lot of venture capitalist-backed things anyway. So YC seems to be in good hands, but if anything major happens, I'll keep y'all updated. And that's it for this week's roundup. If you have any questions on the content or suggestions for the series moving forward, please do leave a comment below. Otherwise, stay healthy, keep learning, and I'll catch you in the next one.